Looking at the last one here, Dodgers for the series are minus 210 against the Padres, but game one, minus 215 versus the Pods here. We don't know if it's going to be Urish or Clayton Kershaw. Yeah, Dave Roberts basically said, it doesn't matter. They're both lefties. We'll throw it out there, whatever that does for gamesmanship. We do think that the Dodgers have a big advantage in this series because 3 of their 4 starters are going to be lefties, it seems. And the Padres, their big acquisitions, of course, Juan Soto, Josh Bell, just okay against lefties, not super dangerous, and that's what kind of vaulted them past the Mets here. Huge numbers. Again, big brother in the division. Dodgers 26-12 versus the Pods since last year. So that's heavy favorites as we expect here. For me, though, I think something will give. I think, you look at the Mariners pulling it out as the series progresses. I'm kind of interested in Dodgers game 1, Padres series at plus 900. I think Mike Clevenger has been pretty shaky in his meetings with the Dodgers on the road this season and in his one postseason appearance with the Padres. So I definitely favor the Dodgers, whether it's Kershaw or Urias. I think they have the edge in game 1. But I think the Padres, once they start to get Darvish back, who looked fantastic, Blake Snell still capable of some good things, I think that they could pull this out and at least make it a 5-game series. Interested in the number for that. And I think with the juice you get for them to actually come back and win this thing, we've seen crazier things happen in baseball. I think that it might be the Pods having their day here and finally getting past their big brothers.
Yeah, it's a tough matchup for them in a few ways. Obviously, because of the lefties. That's kind of the big thing that I'm worried about when it comes to the Padres. Dodgers just should have, it looks like probably 3 lefties out of their 4 starters. Yeah, really the most interesting matchup to me is going to be when, speaking of lefties, when Blake Snell comes up and throws against the Dodgers. Obviously, he's been kind of on fire second half of the season, but I think he had 6 walks in that first game he pitched in the playoffs. And while the Dodgers are also a bit weaker against lefties, they're also tremendously disciplined in general. I think they led the league in outside the zone swing rate. So Snell basically lives outside the zone. So it's really kind of some give and take there in that particular matchup. I'm also a little worried about Tony Gonsolin for the Dodgers. I know they're lining him up to start, but we're looking at one start for 2 innings and 1 tune-up start in the minors for 2 innings. So I really don't know what he's bringing to the table in this series. His velocity was normal when he came back, but it's also hard to say what that means when he only went 2 innings. I mean, maybe he's just pumping it up, for a shorter outing. I don't know if they're going to piggyback him with Heaney. I think it would be good. You have a slider-heavy lefty and a change-up-heavy righty, so that's kind of a nice little contrast, which is kind of what you want when you have a piggyback starter. I think the Dodgers do look notably weak in the bullpen here, with Craig Kimbrell really struggling. Doesn't sound good for Blake Trinan to come back. So I do think the Pods have an edge in the bullpen. They have the better defense, I believe, as well. So I lean a little bit to the Pods for the series. I didn't play it. I did take the Pods game 1. We're not sure really who the Dodgers are going to throw, but I can only assume it's going to be either Urias or Kershaw. I would guess they're going to give Kershaw the ball, but neither one would surprise me in the least. It seems a little high. You can get plus 185 actually at DraftKings right now. I think that's good. The Dodgers they're better than the Padres, but obviously the Padres didn't play as well as they should have on paper. But on paper, this team matches up reasonably well, man for man with the Dodgers. I mean, they have a great team-wide talent level. So if they play as good as their roster is capable of playing, I don't think they should be plus 185 underdogs here. So it took a little game 1 there. Not quite enough for me to play the series, but I'm interested in a little bit just because of the uncertainty around the Dodgers' arms, both in the pen and in the staff.
Yeah, they're not minus 210 better than this Padres team. I think we agree. And it'll be interesting to see how this plays out with the bye weeks being the first time. Is there like a rust factor that you talk about in baseball? I mean, like a little rest is good, but especially a team like the Dodgers that's been coasting for weeks now, now getting into some high leverage at bats, are they not as ready for that as the Padres? We will see. That is all the time we have for you today. We will be back on Wednesday to break down some of these game ones and look ahead at the next part of these series. Please like and subscribe to the page as you won't miss an episode the rest of the season. And until we see you next, happy betting.